Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. This video is the first video of 2021. As you can see, this is March, so it's been a couple of months since my last one. But nonetheless, I hope you all had a really good New Year's, and he's hoping this year will be a bit better than the last. So going straight into it, as I said, this is going to be an update video for 2021 in March, and as you can see here in front of you, there's a little bit of progress from when you last saw it. I'm going to show you the E50 first, so I'll just bring it to the front here. So I'll just get a bit of light on the subject. There you go. So as you can see, it's now fully painted and weathered. This is my entry for the Paul Smith Memorial Group build that John Moore Scale Models is running on his Facebook page and YouTube channel. So this is the E50 Yak Tiger 2, and as you can see, it looks very similar to the Yak Tiger 1, but obviously this variant never went into production. So it's got an E50 hull, which is, I think, very similar to the King Tiger, I do believe. I might be wrong, but yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with it. The actual specifications for the group build itself were 1, something that never went into full production, 2 was submarines, and 3 Zvezda kits, I do believe, any Zvezda kit. As you can see here, I went with the never went into full production because this is an E50 Yak Tiger 2. It's sort of like a what if. So if the war went on until 1946, then it probably would have gone into production. So as you can see, I've done all the weathering, and I'm actually really happy with this paint scheme because it's my first time ever trying a camouflage pattern. And I think I've done a pretty good job. I'm fairly happy with it. There's some little bits that I'm not quite happy with, but I think as overall, I think I've done quite well. I have noticed a couple of things that I've missed to do. So there's little indentations on the back here, and I'm assuming they would have been drilled out for towing, so probably like tow hooks or something like that. So I think I probably will drill those out either side. So that's done. So I think that's pretty much all finished apart from that. I've done the tracks. These were link and length tracks. This is my first time ever doing them. I'll get it under the light there, and I have weathered it, and there's a bit of red there. That'll be right. I have weathered it, so I used the Humbrol weathering pigments powders. So these are the 2 weathering powders I used on the tracks. So that's Dark Earth and Iron Oxide there as well. So these are really good weathering powders. I think they have updated them a little bit more since I bought these. These are quite good weathering powders. I've only ever used these. I will be sort of trying out some other ones as well, but for what I needed, they work really well. And what I did was I got a bit of, I think I did the red iron oxide first, wet it a bit, put it on the tracks, slathered it all over, and then went over it with the Dark Earth, and then I think I hairsprayed it in the end as well, just so it would be real stuck on there rather than it being all mucky. So I think that looks quite nice, and did a very similar thing on the exhaust, as you can see there. I've done it in rust effect. I think I used a bit of this and some brown acrylic paint. I think I might have used this, and I did stipple it on. I think I did use a little bit of this as well, but I stippled it on and did it a few times, a few coats, just so it would give it like a rusty effect. And I think I'm pretty happy with it. It's a nice effect, and it does work quite well. So I am really happy with the overall finish of this model. As I said about the camo scheme, I've never done a camo scheme like this before. So I used a few different paints on this. I used some products from Vallejo and some Tamiya paints, but do be careful because you don't want to mix them, because they're two, even though they're both acrylics, they're both different types of mixtures, and I can't remember the exact terminology for it, but if you mix them together it will make like a sludge, and if you put that through your airbrush you'll just ruin your airbrush, so do be careful on that front. Same things that I did on the tracks, I did on the tracks on the side as well, on the track links, so that came out quite nicely. As you can see, I haven't put all the hooks on purely because the Carpet Monster ate a few. So I have got some of them, but if I'd put those on then they wouldn't all have been there, so I thought I'll only put 2 on for each, and see how it looks. And I think it looks quite good like that, so yeah, I'm quite happy. And then after the full paint job, I went over it with my custom wash, which is Pledge and brown paint, multi-surface polish Pledge, that is. And yeah, it works. I think I've shown you before, but it is quite a good tip. So the kit that I use for this, obviously I did a review on before I started building it, and it was Fist of War, I do believe, by Model Collect, I think it's called. It was quite an easy build. There was a few problems with, I think I said, the turret portion. Well, it's not really a turret, but the fixture of the gun was a bit of a pain. But I mean, apart from that and the tracks, it's a really nice kit and really nicely detailed. I've never come across any others from them before, but as I said, it was a really nice build and it's gone together quite well, so I'm happy with that. Now moving on to the next build that I've been doing, as you can see at the back here we have a Tamiya Panther. Now I have done quite a bit to this, as you can see. The original barrel, which obviously is a plastic barrel, I can't remember where I put it, I think I put it here somewhere. Yeah. The original Tamiya barrel, 2-part barrel, as most model kits are, and there's a big problem with these types of barrels is that the plastic will warp depending on how old it is. The older it is, the more risk of warping you have, and this was quite heavily warped on the muzzle brake, and so I did not use that. Instead I bought a Hobby Boss metal barrel from eBay, I think, and yeah, it fits. I had to do a bit of mucking around with it, which was a bit stressful because I had to drill out the mantlet to a larger size so the barrel would fit, and that was a bit of a pain because it was risking actually breaking the or splitting the walls of the mantlet itself, but I think I've done a pretty good job, all things considered. And this is another thing that I've learnt from John Moore Scale Models. I'm not sure whether it's something that he has come up with himself or whether someone else has told him, but nonetheless that's where I saw it first. So yeah, I got a bit of guitar string here as the radio antenna, which looks really good and it's really effective, and that's the first time I've done that as well. I mean, this kit, if you're wanting a very realistic and detailed kit, don't really go with this because it does need a lot of fettling. I'm just going to show you under here. Oh, I'll take the turret off first quickly, just so it gets it out of the way. So under here, as you can see, there are gaps, and this is how the kit comes. So what I have done, and I have seen people do, this is not my idea, I've literally plugged in the holes with a bit of plasticard. This I'm not sure what thickness this is. It comes in big sheets, but I just cut it to size, glued it in, and it runs along there. And you can see the plate there. I couldn't find any pictures of the actual tank, but one other YouTuber that I've seen has put that plate in, and he said that it connects the storage bin to the actual hull itself. So I did put it in. I couldn't find any pictures myself, but you know, I just trusted his word because he's clearly doing something highly detailed, and I'd like to do something similar. And I tried filling the gap here. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, but it won't be when it's done. I'll just turn it around so you can see how it used to be. Obviously you've got a slot there. I think it's the axle box, the axle drive for when it, because you can put a motor in this kit, so that's, you know, quite nice if you can get the actual motor. But I don't want to do that with this, so I think, yeah, that slot is just for where the axle slips in, so you can attach the guide sprocket there. So yeah, it's quite nice. I mean, as I said, if you want a highly detailed kit, don't go with this. But you know, if you're up for a bit of fettling and changing of the kit and cutting around, then it is possible to make it look half decent. And as you can see here, I've added a bit of mesh to the hull just to give it a bit more detail, and it just all adds to it. Now at the front here, you've got the weld marks and where they've slotted the two bits of steel together for the upper and lower glacis, but the lower glacis does not have those slots and marks for the welds. So what I've done is I used a bit of Tamiya extra thin, and well, I marked it up first, used a bit of Tamiya extra thin, and then got a knife and just scraped it along. I will be doing a bit more work on this because it's not perfect. I'm sure you can see that. There you go. It's not perfect, but it just adds to the detail. It's nicer it being there than not being there at all. And then I've drilled out these exhausts, and I think this is something with coolant, or I know these two pipes aren't present on the vehicle on later versions. This is the Tamiya Panther A, so it's quite an old kit, but you know, as I said, if you want to do a bit of fettling, then you know it's worth it. And these hatches do open. That one I have glued closed, but this one I was debating whether to have it open while because I was going to add some figures to this, so it would add a bit more to it. And this travel lock for the barrel does move as well. I haven't made it so it opens because I couldn't work out how, and then I watched a video and it turns out you have to melt the little nub there, but I didn't think of that and I'd glued it, so yeah, a bit stupid of me really. And then the front machine gun does move, which is a really nice touch, and also the front hatch opens, which is very similar to the T34 front hatch as well, which is quite nice, and just snaps back into place there. One thing I did miss on the back of the engine deck here was these bits of wire that I've added. Originally they were plastic. I'm not sure what these parts are, but they look like some sort of handles or something like that, so I'm not gonna attempt to know what they are because I don't, but they were originally plastic, so I've just used a bit of florist's wire and bent that round and glued it into place, so that looks quite nice as well. So yeah, I will be doing the other side, and then it's pretty much ready for painting. I think that's about it for this kit. Moving on to the next one. I think I have shown you this before, but originally it didn't have a diorama base to it, and I did say I was going to do one, so I will show you that now. So this is my Panzer IV Eastern front diorama that will be, hopefully, as you can see, I've used an IKEA picture frame for the actual base itself. It's my first time doing this method and it actually works really well. So the idea is, I'll just put this in. So this is a little sort of hut that I've made from coffee stirrers. I think I used some firelighter sticks as well that my mum ordered, so I nicked some of them. But as I said, this will be an Eastern front diorama with the tank here, and I will show you this. So the idea behind this diorama is that I'm going to have a barrel there. I'm not sure whether it's going to be there or in some different position, and this will be a fire barrel. So I have ordered a LED so I can drill it down into the base, and this is a flickering LED, so it's already got resistor and everything on it. I'm not 100% sure whether it will flicker because I haven't tried it yet, but I will do it tonight, and here's hoping it works. So once that is in, it will be a nice little centerpiece. I'm going to power that with a 9-volt battery underneath. Now I'm going to have some German soldiers in winter clothing huddling around this barrel, and inside there will be some Russian soldiers crouching down ready to ambush them. I'm also going to add a bucket to the side here, either that side or that side, and I'm hopefully going to make it so it's got some water effects in there, so it looks, I'm going to try and make it look like a bucket full of water that's frozen over, so hopefully that would look quite nice. And once it's all together with everything on, with all the figures, it should look really nice and detailed as well. I'm quite happy with this so far. It's not perfect, but it does work, and it will be quite nice when it's done. Now moving on to the next item. This is the third and final figure for my World War I German trench scene. Now this was a ICM kit that came with, I think, 5 figures. Yeah, 4 figures, sorry. And I mean, you can't really find many German World War I figures around, especially decent quality ones. The other 2 figures are resin, and there's not many plastic figures or figures at all around for World War I German figures. I mean, Tamiya do a set of British figures for World War I in 1/35 scale, but they don't do a set of Germans, which I don't get really. And I just broke off his head. But yeah, this figure is, as I said, an ICM figure, and that's going to be the third and final figure in the diorama. So the kit that I got this figure from was the Stormtrooper 1918 kit from ICM 1/35 scale. Now the guy I'm using is this guy, I do believe, yeah. And I'm not going to put any of the combat gear, let's say, on him. I've sort of changed his hand to a different hand, and I've cut this section here around his neck. That was molded on to the actual figure itself. I've cut that off. I'm not sure if you can be able to see. Just try and focus that in. Yes, I've cut that off and filed around it. There you go. It's not perfect, still got some work to do, but you know, it's better than having 2 figures in a trench scene. And that kit comes with some gear as well, such as helmets and weapons and grenades and that sort of thing, which is quite nice to add detail to the diorama. So kit wise, as in things that I've built, I think that's about it. I have got my Supermarine Spitfire Mark 24 over there, but it's a bit of a pain really, because I think it's an old Matchbox kit and it doesn't fit very well, and it needs a lot of fettling to make it look nice. So I'm just taking a bit of a break on that for now, and that's something I'm doing in my own time rather than on the channel. While we're on the subject of aircraft, as you can see, this is the BF 110 that I've been doing for the crash diorama for the channel. And if you guys have seen those videos so far in the series, I got up to this stage. In the video I did not put the propellers on, but I have done that just in between videos until the next one. It's purely just to save time. That's why I did it. So I mean, it's not really much, it's purely just tidying it up a bit around the edges and gluing them on. Obviously it does need a bit of filler and sanding, but that will look quite nice on the crash diorama when I get around to doing it. And also, as you can see in the corner here, I did forget about this. I showed this in the last video. This is the MWD, sorry, from Airfix in 1/48 scale, and on the base now I've now glued it down and added some static grass as a bit of a little vignette, really, with just the vehicle. So I think it looks quite nice, nice to have on the shelf. I am running out of space for dioramas and models in general, so I will be hopefully putting up a new shelf, so I can store more of them and build more kits, which is always a good thing. Updates on the mod railway side of things. There isn't really much more done on the exhibition layout because I can't work on it at the moment. I just don't have the space, so it's stored away at the moment. I will be getting back onto that. So those of you who are model railway enthusiasts here for that side of the channel, then I do apologise. At the end of the day, I'm just working with what I've got, and I think the only model railway involved thing is that I did repair one of our old club members' locos, which is this N-Gauge 08. So that now runs. Unfortunately, the owner of this, one of our club members, passed away a couple of months ago, so I wish I'd got it repaired before he passed, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So on that front, with kits that I've built and model railway side of things out of the way, I have got 2 new kits that I have purchased. I'll just move these out of the way for 1 second so I can get them into shot. Now these kits, the first one I'm going to show you is a Bronco British Cruiser Tank A34 Comet. Now, sorry about the glare from the window, but so I originally got this kit because my granddad, now he did his national service in Palestine, and he was a tank driver. So there's a picture of him there standing on his tank in Palestine, and I have colorized this and I'll put that up here.
It looks like I'm the lucky one. I can't believe.
Yeah, it's quite a nice nice thing to find, and it will be quite nice when it's done, hopefully, because I'm hoping to replicate that photo, so hopefully I can find a nice figure to go on it to replicate my granddad. So hopefully it'll be quite nice when it's done as well. So the next kit I purchased, somehow this got into my shopping basket on eModels. I have no idea how it happened, but yeah, I did buy this because I've been wanting to build a Russian tank for a long while, and I was debating between this and the T-34, because Greg Riley from Greg Riley's 1/35th scale models, he's doing a group build for T-34s, and I bought this a couple of days ago, and then he announced it on his page. So I bought this a couple of days before he actually announced that he was doing it, so I kind of made a bit of a error there, I suppose. But I will be getting a T-34 kit at some point when I can afford it, because I bought this with my birthday money. I thought I'd treat myself. So yeah, it's quite nice. It'll be quite a nice kit to build. I have had a quick look in there, and it's not bad. I've never built a Zvezda kit, but it'll be quite a nice learning experience. And I will be doing a inbox review of this, hopefully coming out in the next few days, so do look out for that. So yeah, I do believe that is about it. I do apologise for the lateness of this first video of the year. My mojo went a bit at the beginning of the year, and I haven't really been doing a lot. So, you know, as it's a hobby, you don't really want to do it for the sake of doing it. You want to do it because you want to have a bit of fun, and you want to build something that looks good. And there's no point in pushing yourself when your mojo's gone, because you'll just do a bad job. So yeah, now this is the first video of the year. Finally got it out. But yeah, as I said, do look out for my next video, which will be the inbox review of that KV1, and that'll be quite nice. Before I go, I do want to do a couple of shout outs. You got John Moore, as I said, from John Moore Scale Models, and Greg Riley from Greg Riley 1/35 Scale Models, and a few others I'd like to mention is Colin from Festa 67's workshop. He's a good friend of mine, and he's given me so many tips. Him, along with Dave from Model Maker Dave's workshop. All these channels, please do go and check them out. Another one is Reese from RJC Models. They've all really helped me and given me good tips and really helped me improve. The community is a big part of our hobby, and it's really nice to talk to like-minded people. Thank you very much for watching. Do like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Keep modelling. Bye bye.